Hey guys, what's going on? Jake here. So, welcome back to F1 22. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't been keeping updated with the videos, basically, I'm restarting because there's a new patch which changes the engines. We're going to be restarting with Alpine. Now, technically, Alpine is faster than the Haas. However, this car lacks straight line speed, which is the only way you can overtake on this year's game. So, whenever I come to a circuit, no matter what the setup I was using on the Haas career mode, I down-tick the downforce by a couple on each wing to make it faster. So as you can see, we're like the 5th best car. So not the best, not the worst. No, we're going to choose Alonso as our teammate, because hopefully when he retires, Ocon can come into the sport and we can have some nice transfer moves. So the calendar this time is going to be a 16 race calendar. I've accidentally put it the wrong way around, but we're going to end the season at Abu Dhabi and then going backwards, Brazil, Mexico, tracks that I think are good. Italy, we're missing out USA, Singapore, and Japan, tracks I don't really like. USA tempting, but no. Netherlands is boring. Belgium is a struggle for me last year's game, but it's alright. I like Hungary, France, Austria as my bum fiddle, Great Britain and Canada. And then the first 6 races of the season, Bahrain, Jeddah, which I struggle at, is not being involved. Neither is Monaco, because it's Monaco. I mean, I was okay there in time trial, but a whole race there, I'd rather die. Australia, which I do struggle at, it was tempting between that and the US or Singapore. I might do a rotation, but yeah. And then we've got Imola, which I enjoy, Miami, which I enjoy, Spain, which is Spain, and then Azerbaijan, which is another track, which I consider a cheeky little bum fiddle of mine. So for this Alpine career mode, boys, we are aimed to get top 10 every race, and if you haven't been watching the Haas career mode, I haven't made it into the top, out of Q1, out of Q3 yet. So we obviously need to do that, and hopefully in this Alpine we can. So moving on to the end of our first lap, we've gone purple in the middle sector. However, we are at the start of the session. And as we head down this... Oh, I need to change the audios, don't I? But yeah, as we head down onto the back main straight, pretty much onto the main straight, Bottas sets a 31.9. We set a 31.7, going faster than the session. Not bad. So then moving on to the end of the session now, we are almost 5 tenths up. And as we get off the exit, we are 5 tenths up now. We are currently P10, so I believe we are safe. But just to be sure, we set a 31.1, which puts us 1.1 seconds off Max Verstappen, puts us in P6, and Fernando Alonso is not there. However, I believe he just about got through. But yeah. So yeah, moving on into Q2 now. We are going to show most of this lap, so we get a very deep set out. The first mini hairpin onto S section. We get a nice little drive here. Obviously, we turned down a little bit early, but we corrected ourselves. Get a smooth run out of here. And in this X section, boys, we take it really bold. We take a purple first sector. But obviously, it's the start of the session, so we're not going to say too much. And, yeah. So we get a pretty decent hairpin there. It's time to 32.3. That's over a second slower than my Q1 lap. So I'm pretty sure he's going to have to improve on that. I'm pretty sure he will. A really decent hairpin there, boys. And as you can tell, this track is becoming good for me, you know. We haven't had many incidents here. Like, this could be good for me. And as we get towards the end of the lap, was that a purple middle sector? As we head down now onto the back straight. So in Q1, our best lap time was at 31.1. And here we set a 30.8. And we do not have to go out again. That is all we had to do. Alonso P7 making it through, but Sainz getting knocked out. Way off the pace there. Only improving by a couple tenths. We get through in P5. Alonso and P7, 2 tenths between us. Now, moving on to Q3, we are going out on a set of tyres that we did a warm-up lap on until I realised that we didn't need to come out again for a second lap because we were safe. So the tyres are a bit worn. We set a 30.8 in Q1 and we set a 31.4 on a set of warm tyres. So I'm not too fussed, but yeah, on our final run now, this is for all the marbles, boys. We somehow got P4 with that lap. And yeah, purple sector 1. And heading into this X session where the tyre wear must have put us off a bit, we are 6 tenths heading into the hairpin. We've gained over 7 tenths in the middle sector so far. What the fuck? Like, what is this? We are a second up on our previous best lap time, boys. And the time is coming to us every single corner. The confidence is growing, boys. and it's that purple middle sector as well. Are we going to stick this on pole? Are we going to make our Alpine debut on 80% AI, which literally we were struggling to get out of Q1 in the Haas career mode on 80% AI? Are we going to put it on pole in the Alpine career mode? Are we going to have to put the AI up? Oh my days, is this a pole lap?
Excellent lap, we're very pleased with that.
Yes, boys, it's pole on our F1 debut. What the actual hell just happened? We go 7 tenths faster than Hamilton in second, 2.2 seconds faster than our teammate. Now, all I'm going to say is, boys, I believe there were faster lap times earlier on. I believe we should be like P4, P5, maybe P3 if we're lucky. But I feel like the AI's lap times are glitched and have gone slower than Q1 and Q2. So, I'm just confused. Let's just get into this race. We are obviously probably going to sink back. Let's just try our best and try get a decent result for Alpine. And hopefully Alonso can help us.
Months of rumour and speculation all come. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Cox lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Bottas, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, and Alex Albon, Tsunoda, Sainz, Kevin Magnussen, and Joe, Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo. Latifi and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. So here we are in
Pole position, let's go for the win, mate. Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now.
Alright then guys, so we went for obviously the medium to hard strategy, which is probably just the best strategy this year unless you wanted to go hard to softs, which you can do at a lot of circuits and something that I'll be tempted to do in my Alpine, which has good pace, as you might see in this race. So, heading onto the grid now, obviously we need it to be optimal. I have turned safety car broadcast mode on, however I'd rather it be immersive, so I'm probably going to change that. So, yeah, let's get onto the grid for this race start. So, can we get it purple? We get it at 0.5, which is optimal. We've got Alonso in 8th, and at this point I was like, oh god, help me, how's this happened? Alonso, please help. Alonso, dive bomb into P2 at turn 1, and Hungary, please, Hungary. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to try our best here. And as everyone lines up on the grid, it's going to be 5 red lights for the Sakir Grand Prix, and it is lights out and away we go, and it's a poor start compared to Lewis Hamilton. However, on the second phase, we have a better run than Hamilton. We end up pulling away from him a little bit with our, although worse, straight line speed. And into turn 1, Hamilton kind of sends it, we leave him in the room, and then we end up drifting twice into maintaining the lead. And by the time we've got onto that back straight, we have a second lead over Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez. But, you know, I'm not surprised. I did kind of just drift in the face of Lewis Hamilton. That might have made him, you know, let off. And maybe that race start, maybe if I hadn't have drifted across to Hamilton, maybe he would have had a better, more confident run and maybe could have taken the lead of the race there. Because I wouldn't have been able to switch back him. Because if I'd have tried to switch back him, someone would have dived up my inside and took my wheel off. And it would have been race over for me in my debut. And obviously, guys, as you know, I use flashbacks, right? However, in this race, I didn't use that many. I'm becoming quite confident at this circuit, I'm feeling. But as we go on to the back straight now, we are only 5 tenths in front of Lewis Hamilton. And we need a decent S section here. Our tyres are nice and warm, nice and cosy. So we should not have too many little step outs here. And we don't, obviously setting purple sectors, because it is the first lap of the Grand Prix, and on the first lap of the Grand Prix, the first across the line is the person who set the fastest lap time. Strangely enough. So, as come across the line, we are going to have a 4.5 gap to Lewis Hamilton. So we're going to have to use some ERS here. However, moving on to lap 2, onto the back straight, Lewis Hamilton closing. Lewis Hamilton has gone down our inside, but we brake a bit later. We leave him a bit of room on the inside. If he dares to jump the curb, he can try and get ahead of us, but he decides to back out. I always do that. I leave them enough space, but if they want to take the position, they're going to have to compromise themselves, and I'll probably get the position back anyway. So maybe I don't leave enough room, but do you think I care at this point? I don't. And Hamilton's going to make a move on us again, coming down into the final corner. However, why did I pause? However, we brake later than Hamilton. We go round his outside with a nice little move there. And we get back into the lead of the race. Obviously, no DRS. But yeah, now heading on to lap 3. Lewis Hamilton now closing in on us. Perez with a fastest lap of 33.4. We're going to keep just ahead of Hamilton, who sends it down the inside. We bang tyres with him, so Hamilton showing me little respect. I show him little respect by squeezing him out completely on the outside of turn 2. But yeah, Lewis, hope you enjoyed that one, Sunshine. And heading on to the main straight again. We've got Perez 4 tenths behind us. We've got Hamilton 8 tenths behind him. We need to try stay ahead of Perez here on lap 5. However, Perez, it looks like he's going to go for a move on the inside. So we go defensive, make our one defensive move on the outside. We make Perez go the long way round. We have the nicer exit. Perez keeps a foot in. We squeeze him out a little bit. He cuts the corner a little bit. So, and I mean, if he'd have backed out, I didn't leave him enough space there, I'll be completely honest. But if he'd have backed out, it would have been fine. But he's going to go for the move again. Coming into turn, I don't even know what turn this is, but we are able to hang it around the outside, leaving Perez enough room. And we are able to reclaim P1 and confirm that position. Now, heading on to lap number 6, so pretty much the end of the lap. Perez is still going to be within a second. He's still going to be right behind us. And it looks like Sergio Perez is going to have DRS again, obviously. And he's going to look to make the move. We aren't going to use much ERS. We're going to try not to use much ERS anyway, because we do need it. We don't use any deploy. We let Perez go down the inside, but then we switch to the inside ourselves and make the dive on Perez, who wouldn't have suspected it, but he just made a move, so he probably would have realised and been aware. So in a real race position, that wouldn't have been too bad of a move. We don't get any wing damage from that, even though we clip him, but we send it down the inside there after Perez gets us again, and we do leave Perez no room at all. So that would probably be a little bit of a Jake, hand back position, please, kind of thing. But yeah, you know, we do it anyway. We give Perez position back, like, a lap later. But yeah, we give Perez the position back. Obviously, I did that deliberately. There's no way I just wasn't fast enough in my little Alpine with no straight line speed. But yeah, basically, at every circuit, no matter what the setup is, I have to turn the aero down by 2 ticks to give me some straight line speed, and it's still not enough. But as you can see now, Charles Leclerc onto lap 8. He's going to send it down the inside, and Perez locks up. So, I'm surprised we haven't got wing damage there, but we clearly don't have wing damage. But Perez locks up, and Leclerc gets us both with a dive bomb. Perez locks up, and we get Perez, we're still P2. And heading on to lap 9 now, Leclerc has pulled a 1.4 second gap, which isn't surprising, setting the fastest lap of the race so far, 33.2. We're only setting 34.4s, but we are being mobs at every single corner by the AI. Talking about AI, we dive George Russell, who makes the move on us, similar to Paris, but a cleaner move there. George would have seen us coming. I broke way at a normal point. Maybe George broke a bit early, to be fair. But we get a poor exit out of there, and Sebastian Vettel is out of the Grand Prix with a mechanical failure, I believe. So we are just going to take a look at that. Vettel was running probably like 17th, 16th. I think that's like 17th. But yeah, Vettel was running quite far down the grid, and he's out of the Grand Prix with a mechanical blowout. So he might have a penalty next race. So he might need to, change components against the regulations. So we'll have to wait and see. So, and on to lap 9 now. There is a big incident at that corner, and the safety car is deployed. And as I said, I turned immersive off, which I do regret, because the AI might have even taken control before I was able to pit. But we are on lap 9. There's 20 laps left, so we could go on to hard to make them last to the end. But as you can see here, Russell getting on the curb and spinning, holding up his teammate, and a whole gaggle of cars. But the AlphaTauri and McLaren make big gains there due to that. Our teammate also gets caught up in that. And as you can see now, we are boxing on the same lap the safety car came out for a set of hard compound tyres, which should, in theory, last us to the end of the race, which is what I'm hoping for, obviously. Optimal turn in there. and we get a nice little 2.3 second stop, which is a very nice stop from the team on Smoke, the teamer. So yeah, and Fernando Alonso has not come into the box, and Alonso stays out on his mediums. That is a bad decision from Alonso. However, he did get caught up in that incident. No matter what, he probably would be struggling anyway and probably would be down the grid. But the safety car is in this lap. We're going to try get a really good run on Leclerc here. Try make it a 1-2 for the Alpine team. I'm pretty sure Alpine are French, but they might be Italian. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, here we go. We get a good run on Leclerc, but Leclerc's superior straight line speed and deploying of about 1 million ERS per second is going to keep him ahead. However, we make a move down the inside. Alonso gets spooked by it and locks up, allowing us to take the lead. And, however, Alonso maintains P2, so it is a 1-2 for the Alpine team. I mean, Alonso's going to have to pit, but as you can see here, the gap has stayed pretty much the same between myself, Leclerc, and Alonso. But Alonso's massively defending Leclerc, Leclerc's being barrichelloed by Alonso, and all that time they've lost has given me a 1 second gap. So by the time DRS comes out, boys, we might be way over a sec. We're 2 seconds ahead of the gaggle of cars behind. By the time DRS is enabled, boys, Alonso is Hungarying us. Alonso is being my back marker. He's being my rear gunner. He's holding up the whole grid for me. And he is allowing me to run away with this race. As you can see from Alonso's point of view, he wasn't even defending that time. It's Perez and Leclerc battling each other. Perez and Sainz, I mean. Might be Leclerc, actually. But yeah, Perez into P3 now, and on to lap 15. As you can see, Alonso did close up the gap, so I kind of knew it was his in lap because he was pushing like a stabbed rat. And in he comes, which means I've now got a 3 second gap to maintain for like 10 laps. Over 10... Wait, it wasn't 10 laps, it was like 14 laps. I've got to maintain a 3 second gap to cars with who should have better pace. Now, I shouldn't have even been on pole because there was a glitch. I looked at the lap times, the Q2 pole time. The Q2 provisional pole time was a 1:29.7. I set a 1:29.6 or 0.5. I mean, I might have been top 3, but I don't think I would have been pole position, boys. So that was a glitch in the game. That wasn't just my superior pace. We are probably going to leave on 80%. However, I compared it to the pole lap in, as you can see, boys, personal best of a 33.5. But yeah, I was having a look compared to the Haas career mode when I had it on 85. The pole lap was, I think, a 28.9. You know what, I'll go check it real quick. Guys, I am right, it was a 128.9, boys. But yeah, as you can see, we would have been 7 times off, so we probably would have been top 5, but nothing better than that. But with 3 laps to go, Perez got within a 1 second gap. However, our exit out of the S section and our last corner always kept us ahead and out of the DRS of Sergio Perez. Now heading on to lap 28 now, our tyres are 43% worn. Perez is only 3 tenths behind us. This is getting really close now. Perez surely going to look for a move here. However, Carlos Sainz may also be able to join. Perez is closing. We're using all the ERS we can to try stay ahead on this last lap. Perez goes down the inside. We leave him a little bit of room, but we are going to try squeeze him out here. We need to maintain this for the team, and we didn't even squeeze it out. We just had a better run, boys. Oh my days, are we actually going to win this?
That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times. Once again, it's podium time, and once again, it's a real win for Alpine. The team have seen their fair share of success in Formula 1, and today's win is a little still got what it takes to put the result. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine.
So yes, we have won the Sakir Grand Prix. Oh my days. Sakir, they said Sakir, man. I'm just going to call it Sakir. But yeah, we are leading the Drivers' Championship. That is my first win on F1 2022, boys, by the way. And also, I'd like to make a claim for the fact that I actually kind of did deserve to be where I was. Because look at the pace of everyone around me. Look at the best lap times. I was similar to everyone. I was similar to Gasly, Verstappen, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc. Obviously not Leclerc because he went on softs and set the fastest lap. But oh my days, we have won Alpine's second Grand Prix, and do you want to know what happened in that Grand Prix? Alonso held up Hamilton to give Ocon the win. Now, Alonso held up Leclerc and Perez, which gave me a gap enough to win. So, I am extremely happy that Alonso is here. Not I chose Alonso, because if Ocon would have been in that position, Ocon would have double stacked. Alonso stayed out. He was like, yeah, Jake's going to get into P3 behind myself and Leclerc. If I can hold up Leclerc, he can overtake him. And we ended up boxing in Leclerc. I ended up overtaking him. But yeah, right now you're just seeing my upgrades. If you're really interested in where the car development's going, it's kind of just, I want to focus on ERS a bit when it comes to engine and also just top end speed. Those are the two things I need the most compared to the AI, but everything else on this car is really nice. Yeah, what a crazy race one. I don't think we'll be able to recreate it in Melbourne. I'll probably get knocked out in Q2. I'll probably be starting P11, P12, and I'll end up like maybe P15 in the race with a spin. Don't worry, boys, this is the height of the series. We aren't going to win another race this season up until like maybe Austria or maybe like France or Imola or something. A race where there's a sprint. I can get up the grid. Because the Imola sprint episode, boys, like this episode itself is 22 minutes, 50 seconds. Like, this is a long-ass episode. Like, towards the end of the Haas career mode, I was trying to get videos down to like 15 minutes and stuff. This is a long one, boys, and as you can see, the last thing we do is we make the helmet the official Alpine colours. We change the pink to make it light, and we make the blue darker. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tune in a couple of days for the Melbourne episode, which is something I should struggle in, and I shouldn't win that one. But yes, if you want me to put up to 85%, let me know. Drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.